What really happens when you stop chasing her? It's not what you think, it's even better. If you've ever found yourself constantly texting, planning, or waiting for her to notice you, you're not alone. But here's the truth. Chasing often creates an imbalance that shifts the power dynamic in a relationship. And when you stop, something surprising happens. It levels the playing field. In this video, we'll dive deep into the psychology of the chase. Why does it feel so one-sided sometimes? And what's her reaction when you stop? This isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about understanding human connection and creating a balance where mutual respect and interest thrive. Imagine this: you stop chasing, and suddenly, she starts noticing you more. The power of stepping back is something most men overlook, but it can completely transform how she perceives you. Today, we'll uncover why this works, the changes it brings in her behavior, and how to approach this dynamic in a healthy, confident way. So whether you're someone stuck in the exhausting cycle of always making the first move, or you're just curious to see if stepping back could change the game, you're in the right place. Get ready to see relationships in a whole new light. Let's talk about the psychology behind the chase-pull dynamic in relationships. This concept might sound simple, but it's a lot more powerful than you think. Women, just like men, enjoy the feeling of being wanted. It validates their worth and feeds into their sense of attraction. However, when the chase becomes excessive or one-sided, it can create an imbalance. And here's the kicker: this imbalance can often make a woman lose interest. Here's a real-life example. Imagine a man named Jack. Jack was head over heels for a woman named Sarah. He texted her every morning, planned every date, and was always the first to call. Sarah, initially flattered, began to feel suffocated. Then, one day, Jack decided to stop. He stopped initiating texts and calls. Surprisingly, Sarah started noticing his absence. She reached out more, initiated conversations, and even suggested meeting up. Why? Because Jack's absence allowed her to recognize his value in her life. The chase-pull dynamic is like a dance. When one partner pulls away, it creates space for the other to step forward. It's about balance and mutual effort. Stepping back doesn't mean you're playing games. It means you're giving her the chance to choose you rather than feeling pressured by your pursuit. So next time you feel the urge to chase relentlessly, pause. Let her have the opportunity to meet you halfway. You'll be surprised how this simple shift can transform the energy of your relationship. When you stop chasing a woman, her reactions can reveal more about her true feelings than any direct conversation. There are 3 key scenarios that might unfold, each offering valuable insights into the dynamics of your relationship. Scenario 1: relief. This occurs when she's not interested, but doesn't want to reject you outright. Maybe she's kind-hearted or feels uncomfortable with confrontation. If you step back and notice she seems more relaxed or distant, this could indicate she wasn't invested to begin with. And that's okay. This is your opportunity to redirect your energy towards someone who reciprocates your efforts. Scenario 2: increased curiosity. Sometimes, a woman might pull away not because she's disinterested, but because the chase has become overwhelming. When you stop chasing, you allow her to reflect on her feelings without pressure. You might see her initiate conversations or try to reconnect subtly. Look for signs like her asking how you've been or suggesting meetups. This is a positive indicator she's reassessing her feelings. Scenario 3: addiction to the push-pull cycle. Some women, whether consciously or unconsciously, thrive in a cycle of pursuit and withdrawal. It's not about genuine feelings, but maintaining a sense of control in the relationship. If she reaches out but doesn't show consistent interest, it might be a sign of this dynamic. Watch for patterns like sporadic texting or inconsistent efforts. Practical tips for spotting genuine interest: observe her consistency. Is she reaching out regularly or only when it's convenient? Look at her actions, not just her words. Genuine interest will manifest in effort, not excuses. Don't rush to fill the silence. If she's truly interested, she stepped forward to bridge the gap. Remember, your self-worth isn't tied to someone else's reaction. Giving her space doesn't just clarify her feelings, it also sets the stage for healthier dynamics based on mutual effort and respect. Maintaining self-respect and learning to invest strategically in relationships are essential lessons for any man looking to build a healthy, balanced connection. Let's break this down into practical terms and real-life examples. Why self-respect matters. When you invest too much in a relationship without receiving adequate reciprocation, it can erode your self-worth. Over-investing often stems from insecurities, but it sets an unhealthy dynamic where you're chasing validation rather than mutual effort. This doesn't mean you shouldn't try, but it's important to remember effort should flow both ways. Self-respect begins with recognizing your value. When you maintain boundaries and avoid overextending yourself, you show her and yourself that you deserve a relationship based on equality and mutual respect. Think of it like a partnership. Both parties should feel valued and appreciated. The 3-to-2 investment rule. One principle many relationship coaches advocate is the 3-to-2 investment ratio. For every 3 actions or efforts you put into the relationship, look for 2 equivalent responses from her. This doesn't mean you're keeping score, but rather ensuring the dynamic remains balanced. For example, if you plan a thoughtful date, does she reciprocate by expressing enthusiasm or offering to plan the next outing? If you initiate meaningful conversations, does she engage with genuine interest? Balanced investment helps prevent burnout and fosters mutual appreciation. A real-life success story. Consider this example. A man, let's call him Jake, found himself constantly texting a woman first, always planning dates, and never receiving the same energy back. After learning about the 3-to-2 rule, Jake decided to step back. Instead of texting daily, he waited to see if she'd initiate. To his surprise, she did. She realized his efforts and began reciprocating. Their relationship became more balanced, leading to a deeper connection. Practical tips for strategic investment. Pause before acting. Take a moment to assess if your actions are being appreciated or reciprocated. Communicate clearly. Share your feelings openly if you sense an imbalance. Focus on yourself. Use the extra time to invest in your personal growth, hobbies, or friendships. Women are often drawn to men who have a life outside the relationship. Self-respect and strategic investment aren't about manipulation, they're about valuing yourself and ensuring your energy is spent on someone who genuinely values you in return. Have you ever wondered why some men chase too much, even when it's clear that the effort isn't being reciprocated? The answer often lies in unresolved wounds from the past. Let's explore this deeply personal connection and, more importantly, how to heal it. The connection between childhood wounds and over-pursuing. For many men, over-pursuing in relationships stems from childhood experiences. Maybe they grew up in an environment where affection was conditional or attention was rare. As a result, they learn to equate love with effort. If I try harder, I'll be loved. This belief often carries into adulthood, where chasing becomes a way to seek validation and fill those emotional voids. Imagine a child who only received praise when they excelled in school or sports. As adults, this pattern translates into over-investing in relationships, constantly seeking approval through actions. The problem, it creates an unhealthy dynamic where the other person feels overwhelmed and the pursuer feels unappreciated. Healing starts within. The good news is, you can break free from this cycle. Healing begins with self-awareness. Recognize that your worth isn't tied to how much effort you put into others, it's inherent. You are valuable simply because you exist. Practical exercises to rebuild confidence. Reflection journaling. Take 10 minutes daily to write about moments when you felt the need to overcompensate in relationships. Ask yourself, what triggered this behavior? How can I approach it differently next time? Affirmation practice. Repeat affirmations like, I am worthy of love and respect as I am. Say it out loud in front of a mirror. Over time, this rewires your subconscious to believe in your intrinsic value. Set boundaries. Practice saying no to situations or people that drain you emotionally. For instance, if you're always the one initiating plans, step back and observe if the other person reciprocates. A personal story. I once knew a man who constantly chased relationships, hoping to prove his worth. After reflecting on his childhood, he realized he was mimicking patterns from his parents' dynamic, always trying to earn their approval. By focusing on his self-esteem, he gradually stopped over-pursuing and instead cultivated balanced, mutual relationships. The difference was night and day, not just in his dating life, but in how he viewed himself. Why this matters: when you heal from your past, you no longer approach relationships from a place of lack or insecurity. Instead, you operate from a place of confidence and self-respect. This shift doesn't just change how others perceive you, it transforms how you perceive yourself. Key takeaways: identify triggers tied to past experiences. Build self-worth through intentional practices like journaling and affirmations. Set boundaries and give yourself permission to step back when necessary. Healing isn't linear, and it takes time. But as you heal, you'll notice that you no longer feel the need to chase love because you've learned to find it within yourself. As we wrap up, let's revisit the key points that we've discussed today. When you understand what truly happens when you stop chasing her, it opens up a world of clarity, respect, and balance in your relationships. 1. Understanding her reactions. The first step is recognizing her responses. Whether she feels relief, increased curiosity, or exhibits push-pull behaviors, the key is to observe and adapt. Not every situation demands a reaction, but every reaction tells a story. To maintaining self-respect and strategic investment. One of the most important lessons we've covered is about valuing yourself. Your self-respect isn't tied to how much effort you put into chasing someone. The 3-to-2 investment rule reminds us to balance our efforts, invest enough to show interest, but ensure it's reciprocated. Relationships are partnerships, not one-sided pursuits. 3. Healing from within. Perhaps the most transformative takeaway is the need to heal from past wounds. Chasing excessively often stems from deeper insecurities. Recognizing this pattern is the first step toward breaking it. When you heal, you naturally exude confidence and attract healthier, more fulfilling connections. Why this matters: by understanding these dynamics, you're not just improving your dating game, you're evolving as a person. You're learning to approach relationships from a place of strength, not desperation. From mutual respect, not overcompensation. Now, I'd love to hear your stories. What's your experience with chasing and stepping back? Have you tried shifting your approach, and what results did you see? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm excited to read them. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights and tips on relationships. Remember, the best relationships are built on trust, balance, and mutual respect. By stepping back and focusing on yourself, you're not giving up, you're creating space for something meaningful to grow. Until next time, take care and keep growing.